share it with all of the parents that you know. If you're in any parenting groups, share with them as well. This is for the parents, and you'll see why. I let the queen break it down, because when she broke down the idea to me, I fell in love with it instantly. But share this with all of the parents, and if you're a parent, then you're in the right place at the right time. But take heed to the information that we're about to relay over.
Yes, most definitely. So again, you guys, another thing that we want you to do as you hop on, we want you to say where you are located. Yes. All right. I see some of my business partners. I know where you at, but I still want you to comment and say where you are. Also, do us a big favor. For every kid that you have, we need you to share it that many times. Ooh. Okay. So if you have 2 kids, we need you to share this video on your page. We need you to share this video in a group or wherever you like, okay? So we need you to share, as well as we want you to invite, all right? Invite like crazy, because, again, this one is about children and entrepreneurship, all right? Children and entrepreneurship. That's where it's at, and that's where we are going to go. Now, you may see that we have a couple of props today posted up on the screen. All right, so we will get into that in just a second, and this should motivate your kids on a completely different level. Okay, so let's go ahead and pop it off, all right, because we're super excited. So about a year ago, it was maybe a year ago, right?
Yeah, last year, April.
We visited St. Louis, all right? We were in St. Louis for a business conference. We were asked to be speakers at the Financial Empowerment Conference and training that we had in St. Louis. And while we were in St. Louis, of course, we had a ball outside of business. We had some family to come in, and we spent a little time in St. Louis. The food was good. Everything was all good. And the thing about these trainings and these different events that we go to, we don't go to these events just to be the only one educating. We like to be educated. All right. We like to learn. We like to take notes when we are in different states, because you have to remain a student no matter what it is that you do. That's the only way for you to grow. So we were blown away at the meeting after the meeting, where we actually got to sit down with a couple of our business partners. Shout out to Ariel and her husband, Mr. Biggs, out in St. Louis. And when we were talking to them, they explained that at the time they had an 8-year-old son that was a business owner.
Right.
That was an entrepreneur.
Yep.
So, we wanted to know more. Why? Because we have kids. Why? Because we're a student. And so they gave us a gift, which was this first book. Okay. So this very first book.
It there.
We pre-ordered it. That's what it was. And they gave us all types of gifts. But we wanted to know, what is it that your son does? He was doing speaking engagements. He was just really doing some good, positive things, you guys, at 10 years old. Okay? No, he's 10 now.
10 now, yeah.
So he's 10 now. So he was 9 when we met him, but he started his entrepreneurial journey at the age of 8, which is crazy. That's insane to me. So what is it that he was doing to make money, to run a business and still be a kid? Well, he decided that he wanted to own a vending machine. He wanted his very own vending machine. So he started a lemonade stand. You just got to read the book. Okay. So right. He did what he had to do to get the money for a vending machine, of course, with the help of also family and friends and his support system. He was able to purchase vending machines. You got anything to add before we keep going with this story?
Nah, keep going. I'm following the story.
So at this time, he had maybe 2 or 3 vending machines. This was a year ago. So just recently, yesterday, actually, I touched bases with his mom because we received an unexpected package in the mail.
True.
Okay. Now, keep in mind, when we visited St. Louis, we were already blown away, and he was so sweet. He wanted to meet us, but we wanted to meet him. So think about it. We both fans. And we took pictures. We really got a chance to just, ask him a ton of questions. But last week, we received a package in the mail, so unexpected, from his business. And it was the book that you see here, this second book. both of these books are about kids getting an early start in entrepreneurship. And as I was talking to her, just to know that he's grown, he now owns 7 vending machines.
Right.
And on top of that, he now has his own custom line of vending machines, which is, I'm like, what? And how old is he? So I'm super, super excited for the bigs. Shout out to our friend Mikey out in St. Louis, because you actually prompted what we're going to discuss today, and that's getting children into entrepreneurship. Is it a good thing? Is it a bad thing? What are the benefits? What are the pros? What are the cons? Let's talk about it.
Look, at all the stuff she said, you got to understand, this is a 10-year-old young king out of the Missouri area who had the business endeavor and the support of his parents, but it wasn't just support like they just gonna hand it to him. He actually had to put in some sweat equity and learning and proving and showing that he was serious about wanting to have his own lemonade stand. At first it was kind of comical, like, you want to have your own lemonade stand,
right?
But as they saw his persistence and his reasoning behind it, and the fact that he was serious, they got serious as well. So here it is, 8, 9. Now he got his own vending machines, and he's selling snacks, and he's a full-time entrepreneur, but at the same time a full-time kid/student wrapped up in one big bundle. And she blew me away when she said that he had his own custom line of vending machines. So you got to understand, not only did he just say, okay, yeah, I can have a lemonade stand and make a little bit of money on the side to develop it and reinvest that money into another asset, which was the vending machine. You see, he understood cash at the beginning. He took some cash that he generated and collected, bought an asset, which was one vending machine, which grew into what is now 7, which produces more cash. But he didn't stop there. He could have easily said, okay, I'm going to stop at the lemonade stand. I made some money. He could have easily said, I'm going to stop at one vending machine. I'm making some money. He could have easily said, I'm going to stop at 7 vending machines. I'm making some money. But no, they wanted to own their own line of vending machines. So to me, as soon as she said that, I said, that's dope. Like the words on my head, I said, that's dope. He has his own line. So now people can buy vending machines that are actually his and distributed all across America. If that's not billionaire activity at an age of 10, I don't know what is. So the parents are definitely held on a pedestal in our eyes, and the young king Mikey definitely is as well. So keep this in mind if you have kids, whether they're older or younger than the age of 8, 9, or 10. Just tap into what they say they want to do, and you never know, they may be just as serious.
Yeah, and the thing is, the books are so kid friendly.
Yeah, absolutely.
We have 3-year-olds. We mention all the time they love to read, they love books. So we're always reading with them, which is, I guess it prompted for sure the gifts. They even wrote this one out to the twins.
Yep.
So it's a really good feeling to just be, have these individuals in our circles, because guess what? We can grow as parents, and the kids can actually grow as entrepreneurs. But this book is so kid friendly for sure. Mikey learns about business.
Yes.
So this talks about, I kid you not, his full experience just starting up his vending machine business. And it's so cute because, of course, this is Mikey, the little boy, and the briefcase is Biz.
That's Biz.
Okay, Biz. So the briefcase holds all of the different aspects that you need to build a business. It talks about, having a business plan. It talked about having funds, if you want to get a loan, if you don't want to get a loan, how you can grind and get some money. So it's the neatest idea. And
let me add to that.
Ever.
Biz is actually his mentor. You see,
yes.
If you understand business and understand growth and development and taking wherever you are now, growing into another level, there's always some mentors involved. There's always somebody you're learning from, whether it's a book or whether it's a physical, individual that you invest in and they mentor you, or whether it's a cumulative group of people, whether it's a mastermind, whatever it is, you need some type of guidance, some type of mentor. So Biz represents being his mentor because that's where he gets all of the knowledge that he needs in order to succeed in his business. You definitely got to read the book. It's a lot of jewels that's built into that, and the fact that Biz has been personified in a way that he's been given life and a voice and some education is crazy. I can't wait to see what that develops into, because I can tell this is just getting started.
It's just getting started.
Biz is gonna grow into a whole worldwide brand of his own, right?
Yes, most definitely. And then the second book, this is the one that we received in the mail unexpectedly. So again, we are so grateful for that. This one is, it's even more kid friendly. So especially for beginner readers is what was explained to me. Yeah. And what's so cool is that this one, he took a different spin. He's still talking about business, but it's actually supposed to be like a little rap.
Nice.
So you can actually, as you read, of course, every other word rhymes, and so you can actually rap this as well. What a clever way to get these different angles engraved in a person's head.
Absolutely.
And then at the back of the book, they have Free Young Biz Kids business plan. It explains what is a business plan, why do I need it, the 6 most frequently asked questions, finances, how to get started, and then check it out. Little blank pages for you to start your business plan in the back of this book.
Crazy.
Like, it is crazy. So we can go on and on and on, but a special shout out to our friend Mikey Wren out in St. Louis, because he is doing the thing for sure. And we wish him nothing but the best with his entrepreneurial journey. And you guys can purchase the book at Mikey Knows Biz, BIZ.com. MikeyKnowsBiz.com. And we'll actually put the link. I was going to say, we can put the link in there after the video has finished. If you have a kid, it is a must that you purchase one or both of these books. Also, this was an Amazon bestseller as well.
Yeah.
So it's crazy to just know somebody that's really doing the thing. It was a bestseller on Amazon, so you can also find the book on Amazon. Mikey Knows Biz, or Mikey Learns About Business, is the name of this actual book. And then the other one is Biz is a Whiz.
Biz is a Whiz. And that's kind of like the course. If you buy the book, you'll see that Biz is a Whiz is a part of the course. Like she said, it's a wrap. So I can't wait to see what that turns into as it relates to speaking engagement. I'm just, blown away by the level of growth in a short amount of time, and the level of youth. I mean, he's still a kid, like, you know what I'm saying, and the fact that he's taking this thing by storm, and I salute him. When
I was talking to his mom, and she said he had 7 machines now, I'm like, goodness, we just met him a year ago, and he had, this many. So yeah, his growth is phenomenal. We need y'all to show Mikey some love, so give us some thumbs, give us some hearts across the screen, and we are going to get directly into the content. All right.
Yes. Thumbs and hearts across the screen.
Thumbs and hearts.
Let us know how old your child is. If you're a parent, how old is your child? Just type it in the comments. And I love to know whether they're 11, whether they're 12, whether they're 16, whether they're 8, whether they're 5. Regardless, put the age in there, because truth be told, you never know. They can tap into something that they like, and you might view it as just a hobby or just something that they're doing. But if looked at properly, it can definitely be an entrepreneurship journey that starts early. And what better way to do it than to, start them off early, just getting them used to the ups and downs of life, and, having ownership in something. I mean, how old are your children? Our children are 3. We have 3-year-old twins, so they're able to read the book and, not fully understand it. They can read all of the words, but they are starting to get it inside of their, their DNA, because they're being fed and introduced to it on the early level. It's funny hearing them read the word entrepreneurship. Those are words I didn't even think about until I was double digits in that age,
right.
Literally. So that being said, it's all about breaking that cycle and giving our future generations a head start. Not starting behind, not barely keeping up, not playing catch up, whatever the case may be. A head start, and this is the best way to do it. Give them something of value that can carry them out through their life.
Exactly. So let's get into the content, because y'all know we got a checklist for y'all today.
Absolutely.
I love doing checklists. I feel like it's easy for you guys to follow along. I feel like these are just little bullet points, like do for you to say, all right, let me get home and let me apply this. Let me go ahead and get to work. All right, so I love doing the list. It gives the show just some structure.
Yeah.
All right. So let's talk about the 6 benefits of teaching your children about entrepreneurship. So let me just say that, especially after talking to his mom, this is something that we've always wanted to do, a show about kids getting into entrepreneurship, the importance of it, and just the different, our feedback and our take on it. Of course, we're not teaching you what to do as a parent. You do what you want to do, all right? They're your kids.
Absolutely.
But we just wanted to talk about entrepreneurship because, a couple of times I've been asked, how do you get your kid kind of nudged into entrepreneurship? So let's first just give some feedback on what we think about kids getting into entrepreneurship. And, of course, I'll go first. I think that it's so important to teach your children how to run a business. You can show them having a job as well, especially if you have a job. They're automatically going to see that. They see what you're doing. They see where you're going. They see different events that you are actually missing out on and things like that. If you are, they see that sometimes it's not all up to you. They see every single thing that's going on. But I do think entrepreneurship has its benefits. What I would say is do not force your children into entrepreneurship. Okay, you don't want to force them into doing anything. Now, you can aid, of course, in whatever decision they make, or you can encourage certain decisions. But as far as forcing them into it, this is what I want you to do, this is how I want you to do it, that may not work out in your favor. So that's my take on it.
And you're just talking about how to introduce it to them, right?
Yeah.
First thing, since we just got done highlighting this, is buy this book. An introduction to this book will start igniting some ideas in their heads, igniting some ideas, in their mind, just by you reading this and them seeing, hold on, this is a kid who's making money. And I'm buying snacks out of vending machines all of the time. I love spending money in vending machines. So that will kind of ignite that flame. And once you just ignite that flame, that's all you have to do sometimes before other ideas start coming. And then they may start gradually spitting it at you. And a lot of times it goes into what they're exposed to at home. So there's certain things you may be able to do at home. And certain games that are out there that are centered around people thinking about how to take their gifts, talents, likes, loves, and turn them into a business. Right. Certain TV that you watch, a lot of times now, they're incorporating a lot of entrepreneurship in TV, on YouTube, and, people starting their own channels. There's a lot of things going on that's catering to the entrepreneurship environment because that's the wave, and it's only going to get bigger. It's only going to get better. So just exposure of all kinds, whether it's this book, whether it's online videos, whether it's you, whether it's games, tap into all of those things and just see if that bug is in them. If they have a bit of the entrepreneur bug, I promise it'll eat you alive. So it will come out. You don't have to worry about forcing it on them. That bug will come out if it's in you.
All right, awesome. So let's talk about, you guys, the 6 benefits of teaching young children about entrepreneurship. So if you are ready for number 1, go ahead and put a 1 in the comments. Yeah. So I do see that Ariel just hopped on, which is so hilarious. So Ariel, shout out to you. We definitely love the books, and we highly recommend to everybody watching that you purchase the books if you have children. I promise you they will thank you for it.
Absolutely.
All right. Number 1s in the comments. I need to see some 1s. Y'all are quiet on here. If you have any questions or about anything, feel free to also put those questions in the comments, and if we have time, we will address those questions live during the show. All right, give us some love, thumbs, hearts, shares, and put a number 1 in the comments.
Absolutely.
Right?
And Ariel, watch this from the beginning. There's some good clips of us really diving in to how we admire and salute everything that you're doing, Mikey's doing, the whole 9. So yes, 1's in the comments, and we're gonna give you the 6 list.
All right, let's get it. Number 1. Oh, and I do want to shout out these 2 articles because I was reading articles, y'all, I like to research. We have our own way of doing things. We have our list, and we have different things that we want to teach. But it's not such a bad idea to also do a little bit of research, see what other people have to say. And so I always kind of read some articles before we go live as well. And so shout out to entrepreneur.com as well as inc.com.
Nice.
Because I got a lot of things were right in alignment with what I kind of had in mind to go over on this show anyway. But I do want to shout out those two sources. All right. Number one is entrepreneurship can cause your children to have a better work ethic and strong values. Better work ethic and strong values. You want to take that one?
Sure, let's do it. So, a better work ethic. Nobody wants a lazy child. You know what I mean? Like a non-productive individual. You see, as humans, we were born to produce. What better way than to get them into productivity than to introduce them to some form of ownership? Because when you're in entrepreneurship, now you're in a position to where you have to understand the ins and outs, the ups and downs of life, the process, the procedures that go into making money or getting your product out or getting your passion out or getting your gift out. So it automatically puts you in a place to where you're moving in that direction. What was the second one?
Strong values.
Strong values. So now, once they're doing something, they tend to, if they're putting their energy in it, they tend to value it more, and they start to understand people. And when you understand people and you understand that entrepreneurship is really about solving a problem, servicing people, about doing something to fill a void for an individual that may not be being filled, that gives you a whole nother sense of values in general, because it's bigger than you. You realize, okay, how can I relay this message or deliver this product or service to the end user in a way that they want to receive it? Not how I want to dish it to them, not how I want to serve it to them, not how I want to force it on them, in a way that they want to receive it over and over and over again. Nothing screams values more than that. And that skill alone can tap you into a place of just being a legacy, making history. Most people come here and they want to be known for the fact that they were here. The best way to do that is to make an impact on people that you're connected to, or you may connect to one person at a time. So definitely got to have those values in line. I know you got something you want to add, Queen.
Yeah, it's almost, also when you think about just cause and effect, I think for children, if they see, hey, if I work hard, if I sell so many of these products, I get money, and money buys me XYZ. Money allows me to go XYZ. So it's definitely a lot about that. Kids love to be rewarded. Kids at a specific age, they start asking you for everything. They want you to buy this and buy that, like money grows on trees, right? And I actually heard a quote earlier today, of course, speaking to adult entrepreneurs, but it basically said you cannot achieve greatness with a mediocre work ethic. And that's so true. You can't just be doing the bare minimum and expect to have the life that you ultimately desire. And you just barely putting in a little work. You barely sweating. So you have to really apply yourself. And for children, because they see that there's something that I want at the end of the tunnel, trust me, they're going to work hard. They're going to value their work way more, and they're going to be ready to grind. And, another thing that I want to add, getting your children into entrepreneurship does not mean that you are taking away from their childhood.
Okay, break it down.
Because people say things like that all of the time, and it's not true. I mean, even with Mikey, look at his page. Even though he has a lot of business going on, he's still a regular kid. He still plays, he still goes places, he has friends, right? And a lot of his friends want to know what it is that he's doing to get money.
Absolutely.
Right? Because he's at that age where kids want you to buy everything. They want the toys that they want the clothes that they want. Who's going to buy it? Okay, so teach them to grind for what it is, and they can still be a kid. Of course, if it gets to the point of you're forcing them into it, they're not going to be passionate about it. But if it's something that they are passionate about, then they will allot a certain amount of time to doing it, and then they'll allot a certain amount of time to just being a kid. They may say, I don't want to run my business today.
Right, absolutely.
I want to go to Chuck E. Cheese.
Yeah.
Okay, no big deal, right?
Yeah, and you made me want to piggyback on that because, truth be told, if they're doing that and tapping into entrepreneurship, they can really be even more of a kid than typically because they have some funds coming in. They have more people who want to be their friends. So now when they do have parties or they're invited to parties all of the time or they go to places all the time, they got more people to enjoy it with due to the fact that they are exposed to a lot more kids. And Mikey himself, he's actually teaching kids certain things, and kids are raising their hand wanting to know what it is that he knows because he's just a step ahead of where they are. So he really is being more of a kid. And like she said, you can drop at any time and say, you know what, I no longer want to do that. Who was that? Like for example, Willow. Back in the day, she had a song with her hair back and forth, and she said, you know what, I don't want to do this no more. I want to be a kid again. Yeah. And she tapped straight into being a kid. You can stop it at any time once you got the ball rolling, you know what's out there. And then if you want to pick it back up, you got your whole life and some ahead of you.
Willow Smith, Will and Jada's daughter, she decided, I don't want in on this.
Right.
It's too much. I don't want this whole celebrity lifestyle. I just want to sing and dance a little bit. So she didn't want everything that came with it, so she tapped out. No big deal. So number 2.
Drop 'em.
Okay, drop number 2s in the comments if you're ready for the second benefit of teaching your children about entrepreneurship. And I'm just going to dive straight in.
Let's get it. Keep the tools coming in the comments.
Okay, and Ariel did come in and says, Mikey plays basketball, baseball, and football.
Check it out.
Playing sports and running his business.
And the business is still running.
Like
running. He out there playing football, basketball, baseball, and he done made some money. Not only did he make some plays or get some points, he done made some money.
Exactly.
It's like when the game over, they won, win, lose, or draw, he still won.
Exactly.
It's a win-win. It's a win-win.
So number two is the kids will have a stronger appreciation for money. And so it ties in to what we were already saying. If they know I'm going to get this, if I do this within my business, guess what? They're going to appreciate and value that money so much more. Not to mention, they'll feel like a little boss early in the game. Now they can, pay for trips and certain vacations that they want to go on. Kids love the idea of going to Disneyland and things like that. Water parks during the summer. It's scorching hot here in Arkansas. So there's always something. But a lot of times you hear the parents say, well, who's going to pay for that? With what money? So if you go ahead and teach them just the basic principles of entrepreneurship, it may be something that they want to tap into early. Another thing, as far as the appreciation of money, it taps into what you were saying about having that leverage and having passive income actually coming in. So although Mikey is doing his thing on the court or on the field, he still has money coming in, but he knows when those vending machines get low, I need to go restock. Why? Because that's my money. Go ahead. I know you got something to say.
Nah, that's exactly what I was going to say. Value of money, appreciation of money. They know at a younger age, hold on, if I take this money, I can go spend it on some stuff, buy some trash or something that may not, last for long, some toys. And they can do that. That's an option. Or they can also take that money and, partially enjoy it with some toys and take some of it to reinvest into a business that'll bring them more money. So understanding that about money, understanding that money is meant to grow and circulate, and it can bring back more money if you invest it in the right things, is second to none. So that appreciation of money will be started at a younger age, and they'll always know, okay, maybe I shouldn't spend every dime. Maybe I should take some of those dimes and dollars and reinvest it back into myself, because why? It'll produce more money, many times way more than the money that it costed me. So that's a whole nother level of appreciation that most adults don't even know, understand, live by. They feel like some money spent is a bill. We hear it all the time. They think something is a bill, when in all actuality, no. That's an investment. The money that you spend on this particular subscription or membership or business monthly overhead, so to speak, brought you in way more than you paid. So that's not a bill, that's an investment. So they'll have that early appreciation of money all from getting started early.
Yes.
3s in the comments.
Number 3s, drop those 3s. And another thing, hit us with a share. You guys, we love the shares, especially if you know people with children, you guys. Share this video. Invite them to watch this video because there are a ton of benefits of being an entrepreneur and starting as soon as possible. Somebody's probably thinking, well, I'm not an entrepreneur, I work a job. Well, guess what? You can apply these things too. You can learn. You guys can learn together. How about that? What we say with financial freedom all the time and us teaching financial education, we know that you didn't know about debt elimination. We know you didn't know the proper way to increase your credit score. We know that you didn't know about investing, but guess what? It's never too late to learn. If you're a student, you can always learn, and guess what? It's nothing wrong with teaching your kids simultaneous to you learning it.
That's good.
Absolutely nothing wrong with that. So number 3, the third benefit to teaching your children about entrepreneurship is creative thinking and coping skills. Creative thinking and coping skills. What does this mean? Do you guys remember when we did the book reviews and I talked about a book called Psycho-Cybernetics by Maxwell Maltz, and I brought up the creative mechanism. Every single person is born with a creative mechanism. We all have that within us. So guess what? That's one of the benefits that you really get to bring out as an entrepreneur. Problem solving, creative thinking. I brought up an example about our son Mason, one of the twins. We didn't have a race car track for him. Guess what? He really liked to see cars just go down and at a downward angle and hit the floor. So he took boxes and would like prop up a box, or he'll prop up a book and make a race car track. That is creative thinking. He's only 3. Think about the other things. Kids that love loud noises. They want a drum set. You don't have drums at your house. They pull out the pots and pans and the spoons and all the dishes, getting them dirty. But that's their creative thinking skills, that creative mechanism coming out, their problem solving. Well, guess what? When you have a problem in business as a kid entrepreneur, you figure out creative ways to solve them. Even in this book, the first book, Mikey Knows About Business, he talked about he wanted a vending machine, but he didn't have any money. He wanted a vending machine, but he did not have any money. Guess what? His creative thinking skills kicked in. You know what? I know what I can do to make money. I can just open a lemonade stand. We got water, lemons, and sugar at the house. I can open a lemonade stand, sell lemonade. So that's what we're talking about with the creative thinking and coping skills. You figure it out as an entrepreneur. And as a kid, being able to utilize your own thoughts and ideas without being told what to do all of the time, they're going to love that just in general, right?
Absolutely. See, creative thinking and coping skills, the ability to adapt and adjust and problem solve,
yes,
and using your creative mind. See, those are life skills. You see, a lot of that learning is built into the entrepreneurship journey that you'll never get in the normal school system. This video ain't to bash the school system, but you'll never get that in the normal school system. So you're learning life skills that'll carry you out for the rest of your life, all by doing, all by participating, all by taking the actions and participating in the activities of entrepreneurship, because now you're tapping into creativity and problem solving and coping with scenarios. And I don't want to get too deep, but when you tap into the creative thinking or the creative mechanism, you're really tapping into your insight, your inner guide, the source, because we are fed ideas and things, and we think they just come from out of nowhere, but you're really tapping into source energy on a whole nother level. That's a whole nother video, whole nother conversation. But a child being able to tap into that early is nothing more elating to them as well as to the person who's observing or participating in that experience. So why not allow them that experience through entrepreneurship and coping? And like she said, you made me want to tell this story when you were talking about, Mason creating those ramps, and he'll create out of cardboard box. Man. He even creates it out of a rug. We have a floor rug in our living room. It stays folded up because it needs to, be at a proper decline so he can take the car, sit it on the top, and let it ride. So that's one thing. But another thing he's been doing lately that, is funny, and we participate. We're in there getting it in with him as well. He'll set these blocks. Well, he's been seeing me play the Wii, and we play the Wii from time to time. But one of the things they are always requesting, bowling. They want us to play bowling. They don't want to play. They just want to watch us play. Mm-hmm. Well, he has these blocks that he lines up, and he doesn't even line it up in a triangular shape. He just lines them up, count how many blocks it might be, 8, 9, 10. Take a little ball that we got, a little bouncy ball, basketball, whatever kind of ball we had at the time. He talking about bowling, and he rolling the ball, tapping into that creative mind. So if we keep paying attention to the direction that he's heading, and if you keep paying attention to the things that are creative that your child is doing at home, you never know what you can tap into that they have a passion for, and that'll help them get on their journey so they can start coping and adjusting with life and the journey of entrepreneurship, life skills that cannot be taught at school. Yeah,
most definitely. I think all kids love the opportunity, and as parents we can't stray away from letting their imagination run wild sometimes.
Yeah.
Let them do what they do. Stop fussing at them so much about everything. They're just being creative and just finding different ways of expressing themselves. Yeah. So I don't know any kid that just likes being told what to do all of the time. So considering the fact you're getting them into entrepreneurship early, you're learning about entrepreneurship as well. Just the idea of being able to run with your ideas without being told what to do, I think every kid would find that just fun within itself.
Elation, yeah.
Number 4, if you are ready for number 4, we want you to type the 4s in the comments. Give us a number 4 and give us a share as well.
4 in the comments and a share. And while you're typing those 4s, just to kind of add on to the creative side, I just had an idea, a thought process. Basically, being creative is just creating something out of nothing, making a way out of no way. Everything that we're experiencing right now was created out of what seemed to be nothing, tapped into, and now we're able to communicate with you, even though you're hundreds of miles away from us. And that's all tapping into creativity. So keep that in mind, making something out of nothing, and let their imagination flow. 4s in the comments and a share, and let's give it to them.
Yeah, also share this with 4 friends.
Let's do it.
4 friends, or invite 4 friends that with children. Okay, just invite 4 friends. So number 4 is improved people skills. And it's good for this one to come out early. You need to learn and understand how to talk to people, how to be respectable, how to answer questions, how to ask questions. These are people skills that sometimes adults kind of suck at if they were in a box. All right. We hear it all the time. Oh my gosh, I went to this place and the customer service was horrible. Oh my gosh, why are the attitudes so bad? If they don't like their job, they should go home or they should quit, right? We complain about that all of the time. Well, guess what? When you have a product or a service that you are selling, you will learn really fast how to talk to people. You will learn really fast how to be respectable, how not to have an attitude, because guess what? They can take their business somewhere else. Okay? They can take it somewhere else. Go ahead.
See, think about it. When you're learning how to deal with people, that's also a life skill. That's really the number 1 skill in life. Nothing happens without, people. All money comes from one source, other people. So the goal of the mission is to figure out what can you provide to those people in order to increase your wealth and build your legacy or build your empire. All of those things have to be done through people. No matter how you look at it, other people contribute to the wealth in the world. Period, point blank. If you look at all of the biggest bank accounts, the government, all of their money is coming through people and the labor or the efforts of those people. So understanding how to deal with people only makes sense. The number one life skill. And it's really a matter of flipping the golden rule. A lot of times people think of the golden rule from a standpoint of do unto others as you like them to do unto you. Well, since we all have different personality types, it's not a matter of doing to them how I want to be done.
Yeah, true.
Because how I want to be done might not be the way that they want to receive it. So you have to do unto them as they would like to be done unto. You got to treat people the way they want to be treated, not necessarily how you want to be treated, because you two are different. So you got to understand that first and foremost. Nothing taps into that like entrepreneurship. The sooner you tap into it, the better. Now, we're not saying, be a people pleaser. You can't please everybody. Don't let people waste your time. That's not what we're saying at all.
Big difference.
Don't be a people pleaser. Don't try to please everybody. Don't try to be everything to everybody. That ain't how it works. It's a matter of understanding people enough to know if you can take them to the destination that they say they want to go to, or drawing back and saying, it just doesn't align. We're not a good fit for one another, and that's okay as well. So understanding that people skills, the number one skill to have, and entrepreneurship allows them to tap into that. It's
so crazy because when, and I still say this, to this day, it's so funny because being in business, I'm a designer, that business, I don't really have too many issues with people. But when we talk about finances and the different people that we deal with, the different type of people that avoid us because they just can't face their finances right now, I say almost every week, I know at least once a month, I wish I could just understand people. I wish I could just understand their mentality, their mindset, why they act the way they act, why they do what they do, why they, I just really wish I could crack the code. And I'm close to cracking the code. Book recommendation, another one, How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie, right? That book is absolutely amazing. It tells you so much about people. All right. So people skills are just so important on so many different levels. Even if you're not selling a product or a service.
Absolutely. That's good.
Well, I guess it's still a service. If you are being serviced, you need to know how to talk to people.
Okay.
Because, for example, one thing that Marcus says all the time, have you ever been to a drive-thru and the person at the window had a bad attitude? Well, first, especially for women, first mind for a lot of us is, well, I'm going to catch an attitude right back. You can't have an attitude with me. You chose this job, right? We get instantly offended. But he says, hey, you don't want to catch an attitude with the person making your food, which is different. Those are two different angles and two different aspects. So this is something that's definitely pointed out in the different self-help books and understanding people. If you see that somebody's having a bad day, just try to have conversation with them. Try to see, of course you're not their therapist, so you're not trying to see why they're having a bad day and how you can help, but just making some type of conversation with them that can hopefully lift their mood and just get them to feeling a little bit better.
Absolutely, it definitely could be that tweak. But I'm still laughing at you saying, don't talk crazy to the people who make your food. You can't see what's going on in there. So understanding how to deal with people on both angles, whether you're in business or not, is key. Or else it might get something put in your food.
Stop. All right. So number 5, you guys, if you are ready for number 5, let's get a 5 in the comments if you haven't already, and you've been on this video this long. Share this video.
Absolutely.
All right, we appreciate it. And
tag a parent, share it with a parent, whatever.
Yeah, invite, since we're still live, invite 5 people. All right, first 5 names that pop up on your timeline. If you know that they have kids,
tap.
All right, invite them. Number 5 is better goal settings. Okay. Now, as adults, we always set goals for ourselves, right? We know things that we want to accomplish, and sometimes those goals are a bit fanciful, right? I heard one of our mentors say, stop setting these high goals for yourself. Then you're going to miss the goal week after week after week, and then guess what? You start to get discouraged. You start to be too hard on yourself. You're disappointed now because you set the goals too high. Talk to a kid and just ask them what's a lot of money. You know, depending on how young, they might say $100. Oh, $100. You know, that's so much money to them. And they may tell you, hey, I want to make $100 this weekend. Make them put in the work. And then they may see, okay, yeah, I made my $100, but man, I worked really, really hard, harder than what I really want to work every weekend. They may go down on that goal a little bit. If they're just under the goal and they still have a little bit more oomph in them, they might say, okay, look, I didn't hit $100, but I hit 85. Now I know exactly what to do to get that other 15. I know exactly how I can hit that $100 goal, whether that's selling lemonade, cutting yards, whatever the case may be. You learn through experience, especially as an entrepreneur. You're going to learn through every single thing that you do. When you make money, when you don't make money, it's all a learning experience. So the goal setting aspect of it is very, very important.
I love it. And then, you know, like she said, they may work so hard for the $100 and realize, okay, I don't want to do that repetitively time and time again in order to earn $100. And they might run away from it. But if you're a parent, try not to let them run away from it. See if they can put something in place, some type of system that can help that money be generated easier or more simplified. You know, it's all about using systems and the things we have at our fingertips in order to make things more functional, to bring more people more value, which also brings you more value. So understand that first and foremost. And as it relates to goal setting, see, this is what you got to understand. A lot of times we have goals for our children that are predetermined, that are outside of our control as well as outside of their control with the school system. You know, each goal is like, graduating preschool, then graduating kindergarten, then graduating first grade and sixth grade and 12th grade. You know, these are preset goals that you had no control over. That just kind of expected because that's the society, the life that we live in. But when you're in entrepreneurship and they tap into it at a young age, now they're able to tap into goal setting from an angle of an idea or a goal that they set out to accomplish. And then they end up having to reverse engineer it, which basically is starting with the end in mind and figuring out what steps they have to take in order to get to their goal. So now their goal setting is on a different level. They set a goal that they wanted to accomplish personally and seeing what it took in order to get to that goal. And if they hit it, great. Let's see what we can do to, you know, exceed that goal, because each goal that's set and met eventually creates a new goal. So they just keep striving through life to become their better, best version of themselves. And that's what everybody should be on the journey of becoming, the better version of themselves. So goal setting leads into bettering yourself over and over and over and over again, so you can achieve the things you set out to accomplish. And that's entrepreneurship, that's life. But most people just only look at it from a scholastic level, just school alone. No, set some of your own goals, not necessarily some goals somebody else has embedded into this system.
Man, put a number 6 in the comments.
Drop the 6.
Number 6, but I do have something to add.
Go
you
for
know
it.
I had something to add.
I want to hear it.
Yo, I'm full of quotes today.
Okay.
And this is a good thing that I'm full of quotes, because I come from a place of not really having a good memory sometimes. And so the fact that I can remember quotes and authors and book titles, I'm going to just pat myself on the back.
I mean, she diving in. That's that personal growth.
Yes. So the motivational video that I listened to this morning is so crazy, because I listened to a lot of Les Brown, right? He is the best of the best. And there's a quote that he said, and he said that no one starts at their end goal.
Okay.
No one starts at their end goals. So the thing is, it's okay to have your end goal in mind. Right. It's okay to know what you want, in what fashion you want it, and a time frame that you want it in. Okay. Mm-hmm. Nothing wrong with knowing those things, but you have to understand that you start where you start.
Yep.
Whether that's at zero, whether that's at ground zero, whether you own the ground, you know, whatever the case may be, you start where you start and you end where you end. But in the middle, you learn so much. It's a process. It's a journey. So just keep that quote in mind. No one starts at their end. Okay? You don't start at the end. You start where you start and you make it to the end. All right? But just don't quit, because this is a process. You learn. This is where your experience is going to come from. And even though you may not hit your end goal, when you want to hit your end goal, guess what? You're still learning. And as long as you're still learning, you're still growing.
I love it. I love it. 6s in the comments. And I'm going to add on there while y'all typing those 6s in the comments, because she inspired something out of me. You know, no one starts at the end. They start where they start. And that's good for the person who's always comparing themselves to someone. You see, you might be experiencing or witnessing or seeing somebody living a life that you desire and feel like you deserve to live, whether it's online, offline, and sometimes people are really lying about how they're living. But for the ones who are sincerely making it happen, you may be comparing yourself to where they currently are. But you got to understand, they didn't start there. They started from wherever they started from, and they led themselves to that place, which means that if they did it, so can you. If somebody else accomplished something, you can as well. You can even exceed it. You can create your own lane and not necessarily do what it is that they're doing. So that's good for a person who compares. Everybody has that in them. You know, they look at something and then they kind of compare. Sometimes it can come from a competitive place, which can be good energy, but sometimes it can come from an envious or jealous place, and then you compare your situation and you down on your scenario because you ain't accomplished this by this date. And you got to understand, everybody had to start from somewhere. They just started and they made it to where they're going, and you know they're going to exceed that level. So yeah, I'm glad you included that.
Yeah, you're looking at a person's chapter 15, right, and you're on your chapter 1.
Talk to them.
That makes absolutely no sense. You got to start at the beginning of the book like they started at the beginning of the book. All right, so number 6, and this is the last one, you guys. The 6th benefits of teaching your children about entrepreneurship is excellent time management. This one is right up my alley, and y'all know I did this one.
Take them away.
Time management is everything in entrepreneurship, and it takes me back to when I said, just because your kid is an entrepreneur doesn't mean your kid can't be a kid, right? It's all about time management. It's all about scheduling. If they really get that thing down to a science, they'll know, okay, look, I have school from this hour to this hour. I want to run my business during the week. I don't want to run my business during the week. I only want to do it on weekends, but I only want to do it for 5 hours. I need to be up at 7 a.m., at 8 a.m. I need to be outside, you know, opening up my lemonade stand, and I'm only going to stay out there from 8 to 11 or from 8 to noon. At noon, I'm headed to Chuck E. Cheese. So it's all about it's all about time management. Time management is everything. And if it's unimportant, it is not. If it's not going to help you to achieve your goal, it should not be a part of your schedule. One of the things that I have been doing that has just been so peaceful for me and has really helped me to really be productive, I have been putting my cell phone on silent. Silent. Not vibrate. Not low. Silent. I don't hear anything. And the only way I'm going to look at my phone is if I hear it. And it's a problem if I hear it and it's on silent, right? So that gives me the opportunity for this many hours. I need to focus on one business from this hour to this hour. Take a break in between. Might do a video. My second business from this hour to this hour. Oh, I have a client that I'm meeting at this time. Everything is scheduled. Even the kids. Y'all should see how much work we get in before we drop out, before we go pick up the kids. It's insane. And so I can't let anybody alter my schedule. I can't let anybody call me with foolishness. I can't have any drama on my line. I really just barely have time to just catch up with people because I'm so laser focused. I know what my end goal is, so I'm going to schedule accordingly. My birthday is this weekend, and I was just talking to one of my students, and I said, you know what, I might do just a little bit of work. She said, girl, stop. Just enjoy your one day because you work like crazy. And I'm like, look, you got to understand. I have this goal and this goal. I want to make this much money. I want to do this, you know, so it's all about managing the time. And here's the thing. We're not so focused on work and running our business that we don't have fun. Even the fun is scheduled. Almost sounds like a crazy person, but no, that's what you have to do. So even the fun is worked into our schedule. If we have something that we want to do with the kids, like last weekend, for example, we took them to this place called Jump Zone where they can just run around and act crazy and just jump and just be ridiculous and run around with a whole lot of kids and sleep good, because that was the key. was sleeping good, we knew we were going to take them there from this hour to this hour. While we were there, we were going to have at least one earbud in, and we were going to be listening to something that's going to grow our mindset. We were going to be doing, a quick live video telling parents how they can allow their kids to have fun and still work in the same exact place. So everything should be scheduled, and you should even have like some wiggle room in there, so a little maneuver room, because of course you never know what unexpected things can pop up. But for the most part, as it pertains to your productivity and you growing and you being the best entrepreneur that you can be, you need to schedule like a professional. All right, be a professional. Have everything lined out. Don't just pop up, have a checklist and, whenever I get around to it, I get around to it. It doesn't work like that.
She hit all the nails down on the head. If it was 10 nails, she hit them all on the head. See, a lot of times you can compare it to your job. If you work a job,
yep,
they tend to run on a schedule. Certain things are ran a certain way. If you take that and apply it to your life, then you could probably be a lot more productive. If you have a job only, you could probably have a side business that can take you out of your job or help you produce equal or, however much additional income you want to earn if you allot your time. Why? Because time is really your most valuable asset. You see, we think it's money. A lot of times we think money is the ultimate goal. No. Once you put the right things in place to get money out of the way, what that does for you is buy your time back. Yep. Once you have your time back, you feel freer than ever, and freedom is really what most people are after. The freedom to choose, freedom to have options, freedom to do what they want to do when they want to do it, how they want to do it, with whomever they want to do it with, which is ultimately just additional time. Most people just want that, but if you don't schedule it and you let things distract you, like she said, she puts her phone on silent. I can't tell you how many people who can relate to the fact that they went on Facebook to do one thing and they ended up being on there for 30 minutes. They went on YouTube for one thing and they went on there, and they was on there for 2 hours. They went to do something, but it extended far longer. They answered that call and they were like, yeah, I'm gonna get them off the phone real quick, but next thing you know, you're on the phone and it's time to move on to the next task. So go pick up your kids. Ask me how I know, because I've directly experienced all of the things I've listed. So scheduling and blocking and putting yourself in a tunnel vision place to where nothing else matters during this window of time puts you ahead of the pack and helps you accomplish your goals a lot more faster. Time is your most valuable asset. Speaking of time, I got a nice clever watch that she bought me. I ain't gonna advertise the company because I want to be the only one with them, but it even has a light on it. Because I value time so much, I can just look at it all the time, and it's all about time. So time is the valuable asset, and if you understand that, then you can get a lot of things done, a lot of things accomplished, and life can be more enjoyable. Give them a recap if you got something else you want to add.
And you guys, think about children being in entrepreneurship early and getting to experience that freedom to do what they want to do when they want to do it. Of course, around school, that's a feeling that is addictive. Like after you've experienced that, you crave that. I don't think they're going to want to go back to being told what to do. I don't think they're going to go back to not having, not setting their own schedule. So freedom is the ultimate goal for everybody. And then another thing, if you are working a job and you're thinking of starting a business on the side, or you're already working a job and you have a business, look at what they are doing. Look at what they have you doing. I remember one of my old managers when I was working at a call center, he sat me down and he told me, look, I know you don't want to be here. I know you have, your own business that you want to get off the ground. This is what he told me for real. He said, but while you are here, you need to be learning every aspect of how they're running this business if you want to be successful in running your own. And that was so profound. Yeah. Look at your job. When I was at the call center, there were so many different people in there. We were broken out into teams at certain hours, depending on what time they come in, what time they leave. Certain teams had different schedules. They had lunch breaks at certain hours. But while we were on lunch break, all these other teams are still working. So you still had so many people on the phone answering calls and troubleshooting and just handling everything. Everything was so scheduled. Everything was coordinated. So if you're working a job and you have a business, you need to be looking at what they're doing. opposed to just sitting there building someone else's dream. It's nothing wrong with the job, but you can be learning some of the things that they have you doing, and you can apply those things to your own business. So to give you a really brief recap, the 6 benefits of teaching young children about entrepreneurship. Number 1 was a better work ethic and strong values. Number 2, stronger appreciation for money. Number 3, creative thinking and coping skills. Number 4, improved people skills. Number 5, better goal setting. And number 6, excellent time management.
Put all of those things together. Apply and understand those things for yourself first and foremost. But also share with your children.
Yes.
If you have children, get them to understand the power of entrepreneurship. Pay attention to, the things that they may be doing that can ultimately turn into some type of venture or some type of entrepreneurship journey if that's something they want to do. Expose them to things such as little Mikey, who is really giving people the game on a kid level and putting it in their mindset that, look, kids can do great things too. He says that, I might misquote.
He says that his quote is, little people can do big things too.
Absolutely. I love it. Little people can do big things too. Once they understand that and they embrace that, as they grow up, it'll be hard to tell them what they can't do, because they already know they're capable of doing all things, being great at it. So this was our feature. We just really admire this young man and his parents and everything that they're doing. Looking forward to what's about to happen. But this can also be something that you embed into your life as well as your children's life. So don't be afraid to learn from this scenario. Learn from a kid. Learn and teach as you're learning to your children, so you can create a legacy and break the generational curse of not knowing about entrepreneurship.
All right, let's close it up.
All right. You see, we live in a world where we are conditioned for failure, and oftentimes we are programmed or fooled into mediocrity. So people find themselves living like peasants instead of the royalty that they were meant to be. But you see, here we are royalty. We see the king in you. We see the queen in you from start to finish. It's just time for you to take your seat on the throne, because this is where we uplift your character, your confidence, and your cash flow. As royalty, you should establish a solid financial foundation that'll soon lead to your abundance and thriving empire. Take your seat on the throne. We are royalty. Salute.